Who did you work for, Uncle Fountain?
Who did I work for?
Yeah.
You mean when I was a slave?
Yeah, when you were a slave, who did you work for?
Well, I belonged to Burnley's slave children, and soon after, when we found out that we were free, well, then we were bound out to different people, Ficklin, and Andrews, and all such people that, and we'd run away and wouldn't stay with them. Well, then we'd just go and stay anywhere we could, lay out at night and anywhere. We had no home, you know. We just turned out like a lot of cattle. You know how to turn cattle out in the pasture? Well, after freedom, you know, colored people didn't have nothing. Colored people didn't have no beds when they were slaves. They all slept on the floor. Pallet here, pallet there. Just like a lot of wild people. We didn't know nothing. Didn't like to look at no book. And there were some freeborn colored people where they had a little education, but there were very few of them where we was. And we all had what you call, I might call it now, jail sentence. We just same as we was in jail. Now I couldn't go from here across the street, or I couldn't go to nobody's house without I have a note or something from my master. And if I had that pass, that was what we call a pass. If I had that pass, I could go wherever he sent me, and I'd have to be back. And whoever he sent me to, they'd give me another pass, and I'd bring that back so to show how long I'd been gone. We couldn't go out and stay an hour or 2 hours or something like that. Just send you. Now, say for instance, I'd go out to Shirley's place, I'd have to walk, and I'd have to be back maybe in an hour. Maybe they'd give me an hour. I don't know just how long they'd give me. But they'd give me a note so there wouldn't nobody interfere with me and tell who I belonged to. And when I come back, why, I'd carry it to my master and give that to him. That'd be all right. But I couldn't just walk away like the people just now, you know. It was what they call, we were slaves. We belonged to people. They sell us like they sell horses and cows and hogs and all like that. Have an auction bench, and they put you up on the bench and bid on you, the same as you're bidding on cattle, you know.
Was that in Charlotte that you were a slave? Was that in Charlotte or Charlottesville?
That is in Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Sell the women, sell the men. Oh, and then if they had any bad ones, they'd sell them to the nigger traders, what they call the nigger traders, and they'd ship them down south and sell them down south. But otherwise, if you were a good person, they wouldn't sell you. But if you were bad and mean, they didn't want to beat you and knock you around, they'd sell you to the what called a nigger trader. They'd have a regular, sale every month, you know, at the courthouse. And then they'd sell you maybe $200, $100, $500.
Were you ever sold from one person to another? Were you ever sold?
No, I never was sold.
You always stayed with the same person?
I was too young to sell.
Oh, I see.
See, I wasn't old enough during the war to sell, during the army. And my father got killed in the army, you know, so it left us small children just to live on whatever people choose to give us. I was bound out for $1 a month, and my mother used to collect the money. Children couldn't spend money when I come along. In fact, when I come along, young men couldn't spend no money until they was 21 years old. And then you're 21, well, then you could spend your money. But if you wasn't 21, you couldn't spend no money. I couldn't spend 10 cents if somebody gave it to me. Because they just think, well, he might have stole it. We all come along, you might say, we had to give an account of what you done. You couldn't just do things and walk off and say, I didn't do it. You have to give an account of it. Now, after we got free, then they turned us out like cattle. We didn't have nowhere to go. And we didn't have nobody to boss us. And we didn't know nothing. And there wasn't no school. And when they started the little school, people that were slaves, there couldn't many of them go to school, except they had a father and a mother. And my father was dead, and my mother was living, but she had 3, 4 other little children. She had to put them all to work to help take care of the others. So we had what you call worse than dogs have got it now. The dogs have got it now better than we had it when we come along. I remember one night I was out after I was free, and I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have nowhere to sleep. I didn't know what to do. My brother and I was together. So we knew a man that had a livery stable. And we crept in that yard and got in one of the hacks like an automobile and slept in that hack all night long. So next morning we could get out and go where we belonged. But we were afraid to go at night because we didn't know where to go and didn't know what time to go. But we had got away from there and we were afraid to go back. So we kept slept in that thing all night until the next morning, and we got back where we belonged before the people got up. As soon as day commenced to come break, we got up and commenced to go where we belonged. But we never done that but the one time. After that, we always, if it was away, we'd try to get back before night come. But that was on a Sunday too, that we done that. When we were slaves, we couldn't do that, see? And if we got free, we didn't know nothing to do. And my mother, she hunted places and bound us out for $1 a month. And we stayed there maybe a couple of years. And she'd come over and collect the money every month. And $1 was worth more then than $10 is now. And the men used to work for $10 a month, $120 a year, used to hire that way. Now you can't get a man for $50 a month. If you pay a man now $50 a month, you don't want to work for it.
More like $50 a week nowadays.
Well, that's just it exactly. They want $50 a week, and they ain't got no more now, and we had then. And we, no more money, but of course they bought more stuff, more property and all like that. We didn't have no property, we didn't have no home. We had nowhere, nothing. We didn't have nothing on it, just like your cattle, we just turned out and get along the best you could. Nobody to look after us. So we've been slaves all our lives. My mother was a slave, my sister was a slave, father was a slave.
Who was your father a slave for, Uncle Fallon?
He's a slave for Burnley. He belonged to Burnley.
Didn't he belong to Thomas Jefferson at one time?
He didn't belong to Thomas Jefferson. My grandfather belonged to Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, your grandfather did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my father belonged to Burnley. And Burnley died during the wartime because he was afraid he'd have to go to war. But now, and in them days, you could hire a substitute to take your place. Well, he couldn't get a substitute to take his place, so he ran away from home. And he took cold. And when he come back, the war was over, but he died. And then, if he had lived, it wouldn't have been no good. The Yankees just come along and just broke the mill open, and rolled all the flour out in the river, and broke the stove, and sold all the meat out in the street, and sold all the sugar out. And we boys would pick it up and carry it and give it to our mill missus and master, young masters, until we come to be, well, I don't know how. I don't know, to tell you the truth. When I think of it today, I don't know how I'm living. None of the rest of them as I know of is living. I'm the oldest one that I know that's living. But still, I'm thankful to the Lord. Now, if my master wanted to send me, he never say, walk, give you a note, walk. You be barefooted, cold, but didn't make no difference. He wasn't no more than a dog, some of them in them days. He wasn't treated as good as he treat dogs now. But still, I don't like to talk about it, because it makes people feel bad, you know. I could say a whole lot I don't like to say. I won't say a whole lot, no.
Do you remember much about the Civil War?
No, I don't remember much about it.
You were a little young then, I guess, huh?
I remember when the Yankees come along and took all the good horses and took all the, sold all the meat and flour and sugar and stuff out in the river and let it go down the river. And they know the people wouldn't have nothing to live on, but they done that. And that's the reason why I don't like to talk about it. And people, and if you was cooking anything to eat in there for yourself, and if they was hungry, they'd go and eat it all up, and you get nothing. They'd just come in and drink up all the milk and just do as you please. Sometimes they'd be passing by all night long, walking, mudding, raining. Oh, they have a terrible time. Colored people is free. You ought to be awful thankful. And some of them are sorry they are free now. Some of them now would rather be slaves.
Which would you rather be, Uncle Phil?
Me? Which I'd rather be? You know what I'd rather do? If I thought, had any idea, that I'd ever be a slave again, I'd take a gun and just end it all right away. Because you're nothing but a dog. You're not a thing but a dog. Night never comes out. You have nothing to do. Time to cut tobacco. If they want you to cut all night long out in the field, you cut. And if they want you to hang all night long, you hang tobacco. It didn't matter about your tired, being tired, you're afraid to say you're tired. They just, well.
When did you come to Baltimore?
You know when, you don't remember when Garfield died, do you? When they shot Garfield? No, I don't think you were born.
I don't think I was.
No. I don't remember what year that was myself now. But I know you wasn't born. Well, I come to Baltimore that year now. I don't remember what year it was now myself. But if I was laying in the bed, I could remember.
You're not getting tired, are you, Uncle Phil?
No, I ain't. I'm just same as at home. It's like I was settling in the house. And, I was thinking about, now you know how we served the Lord when I come along, a boy?
How was that?
We would go to somebody's house, and, well, we didn't have no houses like they got now, you know. We had these, what they call log cabins. And they have maybe one old colored man would be there, maybe he'd be as old as I am, and he'd be the preacher. Not as old as I am now, but he'd be the preacher, and they'd all sit down and listen to him talk about the Lord. Well, he'd say, well, I wonder, sometimes you say, I wonder if we'll ever be free. Well, some of them say, well, we're going to ask the Lord to free us. So they say, well, we're going to sing. Wonder shall I ever reach heaven? I wonder shall I fly? And they would sing that for about an hour. Then the next one they'd get up and say, let's sing a song. We're going to live on milk and honey. Way by and by. I can hear them singing now, but I can't repeat it like I could in them days.